Welcome to the Backpacking Bushers podcast, brought to you by Enlightened Equipment. Lighten your load and improve your gear at enlightenedequipment.com. With me today is a gear expert, a gear reviewer, and authority on wearing clothes, Kane Does Outdoors. How's it going today, my friend?
Very well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is your first time on the show. It's an honor. We're jumping right in. Your co-host. For those who haven't checked out your channel, what is Kane Does Outdoors? What's it all about? What do you got going on there?
Yeah, so Kane Does Outdoors is my YouTube channel. I started it because I do the outdoors. I do a lot of different things, and my channel is for people who do the outdoors, who do outdoor trips. I try and avoid too much fluff and just sort of speak my mind and give people value, I hope.
When you say you avoid too much fluff, like what would be an example of fluff? What do you avoid?
I avoid sort of tricking people into watching my videos. If I'm going to review a piece of gear, I call it a review of whatever. So if someone's looking for that, tent, they'll know right away that that's what they're looking for. I very seldom I don't try and mislead people.
So you won't have a video if you're reviewing a tent called like, will this tent kill you?
I would never, no, I wouldn't do that. I don't have any particular problems with people doing that. Everyone can do their own thing on YouTube. Just, that's not my style at all.
Fair enough. I like, authenticity. So today I brought you on because you do gear reviews and you obviously know your stuff probably better than I do. And so we're talking gear loadout, like what you would actually bring on a backpacking trip, specifically the clothing, the duds, so to speak. And I had it categorized, and I probably missed some categories here, but one thing I forgot to talk about was like what type of trip this is going to be for. So however you have it structured is fine. What I was trying to do is I was trying to hit when most people go, which is like the nicer, the fairer seasons. So if you're talking mountains, it's like the summertime, obviously, the warmer weather, maybe some shoulder seasons. And that's kind of how I categorize mine. Is that where you're at with yours, or?
Yeah, no, 100%. So it just a little bit of background on that. I'm originally from Montreal, so all of my first few years of backpacking were typically in upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire. So I'm really familiar with that humid, hot, sticky backpacking.
Okay.
And now I'm out west, so it's a lot more arid, a lot more extreme in terms of what you can get even in the summer. So I really split that up into summer and shoulder seasons, just because shoulder season here it's a beast. Okay. So there's a little bit of overlap, but what I'm talking about is typically my summer setup, because if you get into the shoulder season, you can be talking what winter would be for some people.
Yeah, and you could even make the case that your summer is winter for some people, because when I've gone backpacking in Canada, like in the heart of July, I'm like, wow, I'm freezing to death. I'm literally freezing to death, and if I don't keep moving, I might die out here. So we'll have to see how that shakes out, because I've had some cold days for sure. So all right, well let's get to it, my friend. I've got it categorized with different things, and if I miss anything, feel free to share. I mean, we're coming from different backgrounds, different experiences. Is there any chance that we have any items the same on our list? Is there any chance? What do you think?
I think so. I think if you're using like the modern fabrics, they really are very versatile. So, I base a lot of my systems off of stuff that I learned all the way back from Andrew Skirka in like 2008, 2009. And, it still works. So I'd believe it.
That's right.
My stuff goes heavily on that kind of setup. So it wouldn't surprise me, but people are pretty particular when it comes to clothing.
And I'm more particular about some things than other things, but I think that there's no stinking chance that we've got anything that's like the exact same. We might have like a type of item that's the same, but to say like we have the same brand preference or whatever.
Oh, if you go down into brand, very unlikely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. You never know. There's one thing that there might be a chance that we have the same thing on. So we'll get to that though. All right, let's start off with the shirt. What do you wear? What's like your main hiking shirt?
For years and years, my main hiking shirt was just some kind of merino t-shirt. I was using a First Light shirt last year, but I really completely switched maybe midway through last year, tried a sun hoodie, and I am completely sold on them. It really changed everything for me. The amount of
Yeah.
sun exposure, like the reduction in sun exposure and how much less water you need if you're wearing a sun hoodie it was sort of a revelation to me. So
Wait, I don't think I've heard that. So using a sun hoodie makes you less thirsty?
yeah, because you're getting less sun on you, you're getting less cooked, and
Interesting.
definitely I
Okay.
need less water.
That makes sense. Do you have there's like a ton of sun hoodies out there. Do you have a particular brand that you like or just whatever?
Yeah, so I use a lot. You'll see a trend here. I use a lot of Eddie Bauer gear because I'm
Okay.
pretty tall, and it's one of the only companies that come in size like a tall size. So it was just some random sun hoodie that was actually a couple years old that I had bought and never really used. Tried it last year for
Okay.
whatever reason, liked it. I tore it up. So I have another one on the way. Whatever their current model is, it's some Eddie Bauer sun hoodie. It's the only one they have.
Well, that's good to know. I just learned something. So that they make like you're saying they make large, tall shirts. That kind of
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'3", but I have a 6'7" arm span,
What?
so I need long sleeves. I have ridiculously long arms,
Do
so
the large talls have long sleeves that go to 6'7" arm span?
pretty much, yeah, they work.
What?
But if I don't get, oh yeah, if I don't get a size tall, I'm like
Okay.
basically got like little sleeves like that. It's terrible.
We're about the same height, and I didn't realize Eddie Bauer made large, tall, technical stuff. So you might have sold me on one of their stuff. But I will say that the
Yeah.
sun hoodies that I put on, they actually fit pretty good as far as the length on them. And for me, I've got so I had a sun hoodie also. I got two shirts. First, I have the Mountain Hardwear Sun Shield sun hoodie. So this is out. This is new this season, and I've tried it out. And so, okay, there's a couple things I'm looking for with sun hoodies. Is first of all, is one, I had like an outdoor research one that I like a lot, but if I have any sort of like chunk on my stomach, it seems to like it seems to accentuate it, and I did not like that at all. This one, I guess, drapes better. It just like fits better, drapes better. So if you're not looking to have like I don't know, just like a stomach accentuation, this might be a fit for you. One other thing that I test out, which I'll talk about more later, is like the stink factor, how much it stinks. Because if you're going backpacking multiple days, some of these shirts can like stink immediately, like once you put them on. I'm going to say medium stink factor on this one. This could last a couple of days before really starting to reek. The one thing I'll say is I wish it had the thumb holes. I don't know why that's a big deal. A lot of people love the thumb holes. I don't know why they wouldn't make the thumb holes. But other than that, like this is my go-to shirt. And the other shirt that I typically wear is like just like a cotton blend t-shirt when it's warmer outside. I don't always have to have a sun hoodie. I just kind of mix it up. So that's on my list.
Yeah, the one I'm using, or just it's in the mail. It's called the Solar Foil by Eddie Bauer. Comes in a tall.
Okay.
And yeah, Eddie Bauer, they always have crazy sales all the time. So I just wait, and then you get it at like 60% off.
So that's the shirts. Okay, so then the next one that I had on my list was like shorts/pants. So being from Canada, like, do you guys even wear shorts, or is it stinking like in the mountains, or is it just like pants all the time, cold all the time?
No, I wear shorts almost all the time.
Do you?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. I think I'm partly Scottish, so I think it's like wearing a kilt or something like that. I don't know. But
All right.
yeah, I'm really particular about my shorts. So I have some weird habits when it comes to shorts. I like a pretty long cut short, and it has to be really burly material. I don't like, how some people will hike in these really short running shorts that like their leg,
Yeah.
it doesn't cover anything. I feel like if I cross paths with a grizzly bear, it will not offer any protection. I don't know. I feel too vulnerable in it. So my shorts are grizzly bear protection.
Versus like a thicker short will be like a body armor for you.
100%. It's like it's in my head. I have to have
Right.
like to the top of my knee at least coverage, all for
Okay.
bears. It's about bears.
Yeah.
But I do. So it really depends on the type of trip, though. So my standard is a pretty solid short pair of shorts. Again, it's one of the, I don't know if it's the Guide Pro or something like that from Eddie Bauer, pretty, thick material.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'll always have that. If it's a trip that there might be some bushwhacking too, because a lot of my trips turn into type 2 fun, then I'll have some kind of tougher overpant that I can just throw on. I have a really old pair, something from Mountain Equipment Co-op in Canada that I can put on top of that. But if it's a trip that I know is really a lot of bushwhacking, then I go full pants all the time, just because you get shredded. Like, your skin gets shredded.
Right.
So it really depends on the trip.
And for me, I do some bushwhacking, or we've been on trails that are just simply overgrown, and I've paid the price on this before, but for the most part, the trails we're going on are not overgrown. And I am very sensitive to like having any sort of like added resistance to my legs. Hiking up mountains, that's stinking hard enough. I don't want to have like clothing be resistant. And so I've tried out some different hiking pants, because I see them a lot now. People just wearing these kind of loose fitting hiking pants. So the one that I will bring up, it's made by Mammut.
I've been looking at those.
Have you?
I've been looking at those, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I have.
I got a hold of a pair, so maybe I should send you these if we're the same size. The Rumbold 4 pants. Okay, so I've tried multiple pairs, and this is the best of the pairs I've tried. And I haven't tried all of them, but these ones are they offer the least resistance to my legs. They're loose fitting, they're comfortable. I don't know how abrasion resistant they would be if you're bushwhacking, but if you want to wear a pant, like, I feel like this is a good one. I'm not a pant expert by any stretch. There's just a ton of hiking pants out there. And so these ones caught my eye, tried them out, and I like them. But I'm just having a hard time wearing pants unless I'm going to a place like you're describing, where the most recent thing I can think of is when I went to Olympic National Park, and our last day, the trail was heavily overgrown, and we weren't bushwhacking, but there was nettle everywhere. And so I was wearing shorts, and I was getting lit up. I wish I had these pants, basically. But I am, if at all possible, I'm a shorts guy. And I am the shorts guy that apparently you don't like. I do wear the running shorts because they offer the least resistance on my legs. They're the lightest weight. And the Path Project shorts, these shorts specifically, these are, I would say, the ones that I like the most. They're the Graves. It's the Graves something. These are the PX 1.0. These ones are on sale. But what I like about them is that they're very lightweight. They don't come with the liner. A lot of shorts have built-in liners, and I didn't realize this, but a lot of folks will cut out the liner because it's just like extra underwear, basically. You don't want to have an extra layer of underwear. But I did a stink test on these where I tried to replicate days and days of backpacking by taking them on trail runs, then not washing them, then going on more trail runs. And I think I did like 5 or 6 trail runs before they started to like have an odor to them. So I was like, dude, these are amazing.
Will they protect you from a bear?
That's the question.
Like, that's the question.
Yeah.
Like, are they claw proof?
Right. So getting to that point, probably not, but I don't want to have the like high rider shorts. I'm not like trying to expose as much leg as possible, especially being a taller guy. And so so my base layer comes down below the legs of the shorts, and my base layer is called bear armor. So it's going to totally protect me from the bear.
You're set.
Yeah.
You're set.
Not really. So I get your point, but I just want less leg resistance, especially from crushing the miles. Like I don't want to have added obstacles, I suppose.
No, that's why I wear shorts. I run hot. I'm a warm person, so I have shorts whenever I can.
But if you really want to protect yourself from the bear, you got to like wrap yourself up in your tent, because people feel like that tent is this barrier between the wild and safety, even though it's a very thin layer of nylon. So just wear your tent, man. You're good to go, right?
Well, I've thought of having Ursac make me a custom pair of shorts, and then I feel like I'm perfect.
Really?
Yeah. Can you imagine some Kevlar shorts?
Dude, that would be amazing, actually. Ursac shorts. Come on, bear. Come at me now.
just my lower parts are protected. The rest is toast.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is.
Wait, are you an ideas guy? Are you like invention? Like, if only this existed, this would be amazing. Is that one of your things?
Yeah, that's the only thing that goes through my head. It's terrible. It's a bad habit.
Can I run one of my ideas by you right now? I had an idea like yesterday.
Sure.
Okay. So when you're out and you put your tent down, a lot of times you don't find the perfect spot. And so you have, like, maybe you're on an angle, like your head's higher, your feet are higher, whatever. And so it's just not a level spot. What if Thermarest made like a sleeping pad leveler that was like wedge shaped, and you could inflate it and it would have some sort of level on it, so you could determine what, like, raise up your legs, raise up your head, raise up one side, lower another side, so that you could create a perfectly level ground inside a tent that might be at a wonky angle. What do you think about that?
I think you could take it to a next level and have like some kind of AI nanotechnology that like assembles a flat surface.
With what? With what material?
Like nanotubes.
What's a nanotube? You're smarter than me. You got to explain these things. I don't know what a nanotube is.
Nanotube. There's all kinds of weird stuff out there that people are trying to come up with in this nanotechnology world, and it hasn't come into the backpacking space yet. But I guarantee it's going to be, first thing is going to be nanotube self-leveling sleeping system. Like you've got it. You've got the market there.
Well, we've run our ideas by CEOs of companies, and I've run my ideas by like the guy that runs Garage Grown Gear, and they're always interested, but nobody ever like gives me money for them. So I don't know what there's probably some sort of in between process that I'm just not good at. So,
well, yeah, I mean, I had a tricky evening the last time I went out, and that's the advantage of a freestanding tent. You can just kind of pick it up and find the right spot.
Oh, for sure.
So
for sure. And for the most part, like, we've been pretty successful. You kind of plan out where you're going to go ahead of time, but there's times when you just like, there's not a good option. So that was just an idea I had. Anyway. All right. Rain gear. So that's like typically for most people, just like some sort of rain jacket with or without rain pants. What you got?
I've been using this, oh shoot, it's not here. Eddie Bauer Super 7s rain shell, really light. It weighs in at 6.5 ounces. Really very light. Yeah, wow, it's super light. Honestly, it doesn't work very well at all, but we don't get that.
Like for waterproofness?
It wets through really quick, but it weighs next to nothing, and we're in a pretty arid climate here. So in the summer, it's pretty rare that I get that much rain. I have it more as kind of just in case. If I know that I'm getting a lot of, like, it's going to rain, that's where you start to get into like more of a real shell. Or the other thing that one of my favorites is a product called the Paka. Have you ever heard of that?
Paka?
Yeah, something like that. It's kind of a poncho-y hybrid thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's weird. It's ugly, but that is probably the most effective piece of rain gear I've ever used.
Oh, I have seen those, yeah.
It goes over your whole system. I find like it really depends where you are. So if I was going to be going back out east and doing trips in New York or Appalachians or whatever, that's what I would use, because it's so humid. You can just sort of go over everything. You can have your food and stuff underneath it, and you stay really well ventilated. Here, you're more above the tree line, so it's more about a jacket. But rain jackets are not they're not fun to wear.
I'm 100% with you. For me, I have a rain jacket. This one is, I think, like very similar weight. I got another Mammut jacket here. It's a Ducon Light hooded jacket. I got it right here. I haven't worn it yet. I'm actually a little bit nervous about wearing this one because of what you're describing. Like, it's so lightweight. It's like the 6-ounce range right here. It is a good brand with Mammut, and it's really good quality, or they're known for their quality, but it's like a no frills jacket. There's no pockets. It's just like the lightest light jacket. It's meant to just shed the water. Build is breathable. I mean, it's not the most expensive one. It's definitely not cheap. It's got the dry active technology. I don't know. They rate it like a 3 out of 6 for durability, but a 6 out of 6 for lightweight, windproof. It's packable. That's if you're trying to just go like ultra light. A lot of people will use their rain jackets as like a layer of almost like an insulating layer, like keeping warmth in. That's going to do less of that. So if you want a jacket that's going to kind of do double duty, then I go with like a Black Diamond jacket. So I've been using Black Diamond jackets. The men's fine line stretch shell is kind of their latest iteration. that served me well. And if you have a jacket out in the rain long enough, like it's going to wet through at some point, but this has kept me dry.
I've got a La Sportiva one in the mail. It's called the La Sportiva Equilibrium Light. It's another supposed to be super lightweight, 7 ounces, Gore-Tex. I'm looking forward to try that out because, again, the one from that I use that's from Eddie Bauer, you know how there's sort of there seem to be two types of waterproof breathable fabrics. One that's it almost the cheaper ones or the lighter weight ones typically have kind of a plastic feel to the inside,
right?
Whereas the Gore-Tex or the sort of higher end multi-layer fabrics have more of a nicer feel on the inside.
For sure.
So that's I'm really hoping, I got high hopes for this one because it is a Gore-Tex jacket, that it has more of that plush, just a nicer against the skin feel versus that very plasticky feel, which especially in the summer that you might have it on top of a t-shirt. So then you end up having that plasticky feel up against your skin if that wets out or whatever, it's just really unpleasant. Whereas typically a heavier, more burly Gore-Tex jacket, it feels nicer, but having, a 1 pound jacket to me is just kind of overkill for what I like doing. So
that's a really good point though, is that, the feel of the jacket, the lighter the jacket, the like less cozy or comfortable it feels. But if you if I go with that Mammut jacket and then I also have an insulating layer on top of that, not what you'd probably wear while you're actually, while you're hiking, while you're active, but at camp, if you're using that as kind of like an overshell, obviously you have like a mid layer that's in between that, which is kind of softening the blow. So I think that, if you're pairing them together, it's fine. But if you're just wearing that, especially if it's like really thin, you're going to feel the rain pelting you and it's not going to keep you that warm, basically. All right, next up are shoes. And shoes they're just tough because everybody's got their own particular thing they're looking for. Some people like boots. Some people go so far as to wear barefoot shoes out on the trail. So what we're suggesting, these are things that either we're curious about or that we're particular with. Kane, you said you got some shoes on the way. So this is kind of almost like a shoe preview. What are you looking forward to with shoes?
So I've got 2 pairs of shoes on the wave. So I've been on this hunt for the perfect shoe for the past few years. 2 years ago, I used some La Sportiva, the TX4s and TX3s, which they almost have a cult following, but they're I've got them here. Got one of them here. This is the TX3, I think. The TX4, TX3. They're fantastic shoes. This is an approach style shoe, but it's leather, so that's not great for anytime you're gonna get wet. This shoe is basically the same one. It's synthetic, so it dries well. I used it for a lot of last year and part of the year before. Super comfortable shoe, but it has this rand all the way around because it is an approach climbing style shoe. So when you get soaked in this, it turns into a little bathtub.
Oh, yeah.
Totally holds the water in. It gets pushed out eventually. So I do really like La Sportiva shoes. They suit my foot. And then I also used a pair of, for most of last year, I tried this pair of, what's this company called? Topo.
Yeah.
They're unwearable to me. They're unwearable. They completely, this might be a foot thing. I don't know what, but if you look at it, it's got this really steep angle here. And I wore them for a 2-day trip and I couldn't walk for a month after. So
because of blisters or because of heel pain?
Blisters. Okay. It tore off a piece of skin on each foot this big. Going with more La Sportiva this year, I got this model called the Acria 2, which is a trail shoe on the way. So going to try those out. And I have a pair of Bushidos also on the way. So
okay, you got it. All right.
The quest for the best shoes.
I'm on that quest as well. And so this is one that I haven't tried out yet, but I'm previewing. So this is a shoe by Loa, the Amplix 2. This came out this season. It's a trail shoe. It's got very aggressive lugs right here. It's at 295 grams. which is really lightweight for a trail shoe. Like there's some road running shoes that are heavier than this. It's got a 6mm heel drop. I actually like how it looks. It comes in some different.
It's got a little bit of a retro look. Yeah, it's got kind of a New Balance-y look.
Yeah, maybe that's why I like it. Because I'm a retro guy. And so, yeah, they were at the Denver, like at a media show, and they wanted to meet with me and tell me all about their latest and greatest backpacking shoes. I was like, Loa, don't you guys just make boots? But they've gotten into the trail shoe market, and I mean, it's kind of checking all the boxes for me. I want it to be lightweight. I want it to be not a crazy drop heel to toe, and then I want it to be stiff. And this is stiff enough for me. You don't want the like spongy shoe. That's not good. That's going to cause additional foot fatigue. And so this is one that I haven't tried out, but I'm very curious about. I do think that it runs small in case you're interested in trying these out. You want to get like a half size to a full size bigger. But that's my shoe. The one that I've been going with is the Hoka Speed Goat. And that's one of the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn, but it wears out in the heels super fast. And they're super expensive. So it's very frustrating.
I can't wear Hokas. Can't do it.
Yeah, they're not for everybody for sure. So that's why I had to.
I'm always tripping and falling on them. You can't scramble at all in them. I think they're probably great for, again, a trail like the Colorado Trail. You could push a stroller on the Colorado Trail for the most part.
For parts of it, for sure, yeah.
For sure. So something like a Hoka would do great on there especially if you're doing high mileage days. But if you're doing anything where we get a lot of big talus fields here where you're kind of boulder hopping and they're wobbling and you're getting your foot's going in between stuff. So just the kind of conditions here, unless you're on trail, I don't think they're the right fit for what I do.
All right. Socks. There's a million sock brands, a million of them. So if you had okay, what's your favorite sock? What you got?
D-Feet.
D-Feet. Okay.
Yeah. I've been wearing them for years. They're starting to get harder to find in Canada. I don't know why. I guess they're just not that popular, but I've never had it. They like, you put them on and they don't move. They're like glue, and they're super comfortable. And yeah, they work. They last. I'm not a big fan of anything. I need a very thin sock or my feet get hot. So those darn tough socks, anything that's merino or wool or anything like that, I can't do it. So the D-Feet socks, they have nylon versions, and they work super well.
Okay, I don't know if I've tried. I feel like I've tried all the socks, but I don't think I've tried D-Feet. I'll have to look those up.
I think they used to be more popular. I'm showing my age.
Maybe.
Back in the day.
For me, it sounds like we like the same kind of sock, because I just ordered a brand new one. This is not my first pair. Exoskin, the 5.0 Top Stitch Pro Series. This is a very thin sock, and it kind of like Exoskin's thing is they don't have the seams. So I don't know what they do. They have these sewing machines where it's just like it's kind of all sewn together, so you're not going to like rub or have blisters along seams. These are super lightweight. Like, they're so thin and lightweight, you really have to be careful putting them on and taking them off. If you yank on them, like trying to get them over your heel, like you can tear them. And not typically out of the package, but after you've worn them for a while. So my last pair, I actually did tear a hole in, probably because I was like getting frustrated because they are pretty tight fit. But they're very lightweight, and yeah, I like Exoskin stuff. So that's my favorite.
I'll have to look those up because, like I said,
they're a smaller company.
D-Feet, hard to get now. So
D-Feet and Exoskin.
I'll be looking into those.
All right, man. Yeah, one last category. We didn't hit all the categories. We hit most of them. One last piece of clothing that we haven't talked about. Call it the miscellaneous category. Your last favorite thing.
I'm a big fan of these Arc'teryx hats. I hate Arc'teryx in general, but it's their, I can't remember what it's called. I'll check it out. It's whatever their 5-panel hat is. I have 2 of them, and they hold up really well. You can get them soaked. They dry out well. They're a little bit flexible, so if you stuff it in your pack, it's not like having a normal ball cap that just gets destroyed. So they work well, and they don't. They're kind of an in-between look between that very kind of trendy 5-panel that everyone wears like flat out like that you see everywhere. I'm kind of like, again, showing my age a little bit. I like a normal ball cap, but for backpacking, I find if they're made of cotton or whatever, they just get soaked and don't do very well. So I'm a big fan of this Arc'teryx one. I don't know,
Right.
whatever. It works.
I'm on the hunt for a good backpacking camp. I thought I found one. I thought I found the perfect one. Then it turned out to really like it keeps your head nice and cool, but it absorbs the moisture. So it absorbs your sweat and just like holds it there. So it becomes this like heavy cap basically. And so I'll check out the Arc'teryx one for sure. I've been wearing like running hats, and they've been okay. My miscellaneous item, I'll go with the base layer. This is what I was kind of alluding to. I wear compression shorts as my base layer, and my 100% favorite brand of compression stuff is CEP. And I didn't realize you're starting to see them in your kind of big brand gear stores. I just saw them today. I was over at an REI today, and I saw them there. I thought they were mainly online only, but CEP makes the best quality compression stuff. It lasts. It just lasts. I use it a ton. I use it on trail runs. I'm constantly using it. They hold up. They fit well. I don't know if you're into compression stuff, but if you put compression stuff on, some of them are really annoying to put on and get off. And they have just the right seams in the right places so you can grab them. And that it like prevents chafage, and it keeps your muscles just kind of as efficient as possible. So that's kind of one of my favorite items. Have
you tried the mesh base layers yet?
I've seen so many videos on those.
You got it.
Yeah.
Man, they are for, especially, so let's say I want to play with them a little bit in the summer just to see if there's a use case, but any cool weather, they're 100% a game changer. So
yeah.
If you do anything in the fall or winter, they're a game changer.
Right.
Summer, it's harder for me. You know, if you go on their website, they say, "Oh, you can use them 4 seasons." I'm not sure yet.
Right.
But
I'm a maybe on that, because if I'm wearing a shirt, especially a base layer shirt, and I want to kind of cool off or whatever, and so I want to take off my overshirt or jacket, and all I have is that base layer on, I don't want to be wearing a mesh shirt around camp. I don't want to be showing that to anybody or on the trail. So that's the drawback for me.
Oh, 100%. You cannot wear it. You look absurd.
Right.
So, but in the winter, so I don't know. I think there's a use case somehow, but because it works so well, just not sure exactly what the conditions are.
Gotcha.
Somewhere a little bit cooler, then you could maybe have it under a sun shirt of some kind. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm looking into it.
All right. Well, you just heard 2 dudes talking the types of clothes, and some of these clothes are unisex clothes, so they can definitely work for women out there. But you know what, ladies? I have been paying attention to the feedback, and we've got a special segment coming up right now. We interrupt this podcast to bring breaking news. Jen Deanna is joining the show. Why are you interrupting the show, Jen Deanna? What's going on here?
Hey there, Carl. I hear you're talking about clothing, but for some reason you've left out the ladies.
True. We don't have a female on our show, but I did talk about unisex clothing. Is that not cutting it?
No, Carl, that's not fair. We have specific sizing.
Okay. All right. So are you going to be our resident female perspective? Is that your role right now?
That is my role today. Yes.
I've been talking with Kane about quite a few items here, but let's do the same list. Let's do the rundown. Your favorite things. And these are just your favorite things. You're not representing the entire female race, just what you prefer to use and to wear when you're out on a backpacking trip. You up for that?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so tell us about your favorite shirt or top. What is that?
You know, I like just any kind of moisture wicking polyester nylon shirt. My favorite one right now that I'm wearing is, I think, made by Marmot. It's nothing special, but
okay.
It wicks and it dries quick, and it's lightweight. So.
Okay, so not the backpacking blister shirt that you're wearing that we can see on YouTube, you're saying?
No.
Okay.
But I do pack this along to wear around camp, and to sleep in, so that I have a comfy...
A sleep shirt.
Like a clean sleep shirt, like a cozy shirt.
Okay.
Do you not sleep with a clean shirt?
Sleep clothes came up as a controversial topic not too long ago. And so I don't know if I want to dig into that with you, but you're not alone. I'll just say that. A lot of folks like that. Okay.
Like one t-shirt that's clean.
Yeah, I get the concept. My argument is just that you're going backpacking. You're not clean. So
I rewear the same clothes to hike in, so I'm not packing like a fresh outfit for every day.
Okay, fair enough. Are you more of a shorts or pants person?
You know, it's really interesting that you would ask, because when I first started backpacking about 20 years ago, I was really into the hiking pants that had the zip off short feature. And I wore those for years. And I really liked them at the time. I thought that was cutting edge technology for, having two options or whatever. And then at some point I changed and I started hiking more in like an athletic dress. I really liked how like thin and light and breezy a dress was. And I would pair that with a pair of like biker shorts that have little pockets in the sides so that I could maybe put like my phone in the pocket, and have easy access to it. At the time, my backpack had pockets that were too small for my phone because the phones just keep getting larger and larger. And so I found that was a really handy way for me to be able to have my phone on me. And it just was so comfortable to do that. And then recently, I think it was the first outdoor retailer show that we went to, I was turned on to a company named NARA. And they make a whole line. And I have just about everything now at this point. They have hiking pants, they have leggings, they have shorts. And recently I was sent a pair of overalls to test. And I've been doing that and I love them. And so I'm going to be wearing those. I've worn them for the last, I would say 4 hiking trips, enough to where I feel like I want to be in these for a long weekend of backpacking. And so that's what I'm going to be testing on the trail in Catalina.
Okay. And the Nara pants, like their thing is, they're like premium, like you're definitely paying a premium price. And their thing is that they have like a zip so that you don't have to take the pants off to go to the bathroom. You can just do a zip, right?
That is correct for the ladies. Sometimes we need a little bit of privacy. We don't want to pull everything down. And I am going to be the only female on this trip, and we will be above tree line. So I figured it helps. Every little bit helps to be a little bit more comfortable backpacking in a group of 100%. Guys. So,
okay. What about rain gear? What do you bring for that?
Okay, so years ago, I won a competition. It was called a Sufferfest contest with Outdoor Research, and they sent me a top of the line version of, at the time, of their women's rain jacket, and I have been using it because it was free and I love it. And I'm also just a really big fan of Outdoor Research.
Socks. What is your favorite sock brand, Jen Deanna?
I really like Darn Tough. I really like merino wool socks, like a 100% wool. Wool does not bother my skin. I think there's nothing better. Like they wick, they dry really quick. They never smell. I take 2 pairs, which you probably, if you don't like a sleep shirt, you probably think that's a little extravagant. But I like to have
2 pairs of socks. Everybody brings 2 pairs. Come on.
Do they? I thought you were going to make fun of me for that.
I didn't make fun of the sleep shirt. I just said that it came up recently. That's all I said.
I do. I'd like to have 2 pairs. Sometimes during the day, I'll rotate them. If it's especially hot or especially sweaty, I'll stop and I'll change. And I rarely get blisters. So for me, merino wool works really well. I also really like alpaca. So Paca makes an alpaca, which is a wool blend of sock, and I really like those as well. But Darn Tough probably takes first place for me. Maybe Right Socks
first place
as a second place. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you bring some sort of like fleece jacket, down jacket, warm jacket on trips?
Absolutely. I am a big fan of a Patagonia Capline mid-weight base layer. I just bring that almost regardless of what the weather is going to be. It doesn't matter if I'm backpacking in the spring or the summer. That pretty much is going to come with me around the campfire at nighttime. It's just an extra like comfortable layer. And I usually am sleeping in a hammock. And so I'm, sometimes I like a long sleeve. It just depends on how cold it is. If it's getting close to 30, I'm liking something long sleeved. And depending on how cold I anticipate it, sometimes I have a little down vest that I'll bring in addition to a down puffy. And so I will layer those 3 pieces up, and I am comfortable down pretty cold. At that point, I can withstand a lot, but I don't tend to get as cold as, like, my husband's a cold sleeper. So I'm just usually warm.
You're literally a happy camper, you're saying.
Yeah, I'm a happy camper.
With that setup. And then hat or cap preference you have when you're out there?
You'll love this. My favorite one is made by Outdoor Research, and it is what you would affectionately call a fake ranger hat. And so I will be sporting that.
Yes. Yes.
I also have occasionally I'll wear an Outdoor Research. It's a ball cap, and it has these snaps that click on a big flap to the back.
Okay.
But I'm trying to keep out of the sun as much as I can. I had a little spot that I had some concern with last year that I had to get removed. And
Okay.
I'm trying to be extra careful. So for the Catalina trip, I will be wearing the wide brimmed sun hat made by Outdoor Research. And I will also be sporting their fingerless gloves as well.
Oh,
And also I will be wearing unless it is just blazing hot, I will be wearing a long sleeve sun shirt as well. I do plan to pack sunscreen, but I usually try to use my clothing as my sunscreen.
So if you go back to the zip off pants, you got your fake ranger hat, you're still missing a shirt that looks like it has a label with a name tag on it. So you're still missing a piece, but I think you need 20 to 25 more years of life before you're allowed to do that.
Okay. Well, I'll put in my application.
Please do.
Here in another 20. We'll see.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Is there anything else? You mentioned the gloves. Any other things that you wear or things that you might wear periodically, accessories, or is that your clothing kit, so to speak?
That's mine. And when I'm talking to ladies, they often are way overpacking on clothing. I know that you think my sleep shirt is overpacking. I would say that's probably the one piece.
I didn't even say that. You keep on picking on that. I didn't say anything about that.
I think one clean shirt is nice, one to hike in, one bottom to hike in. And I don't pack an extra bottom to hike in if it gets wet from rain. I don't typically bring rain pants. I do own a pair, but I absolutely hate hiking in rain pants. So I would be much more likely to hike in a dress or shorts and just let my legs get wet unless it is just miserably cold. And then I would maybe consider, but at that point I'm also considering do I really want to be backpacking? Probably not. So I guess I'm more of a fair weather backpacker.
Jen Deanna, this was helpful. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
I really appreciate you taking the time for this breaking news in the middle of the episode. Well worth it. So thank you so much.
All right. You and the ladies are welcome. Thanks, Carl.
All right. Thanks to Jen for that. We've got clothing trivia coming up right after this.
This is your before and after story. Prepare for an incredible career in nursing. At Southeastern College, experience expert hands-on training. Learn real-world skills in our professional lab and simulated settings. And train for opportunities as a practical nurse, registered nurse, or career advancement with our RN to BSN program. At Southeastern College, your future is bright. Visit sec.edu to get started.
The trail is calling your name. Are you ready? Are you really ready? Our good friend Rowan from Summit Strength can get you trail ready. Rowan uses rock-solid evidence to design a specialized training program just for you. There are plenty of cookie-cutter programs out there that will get you only halfway up the mountain. Make it to your adventure summit with Summit Strength. The link to your success is always in our episode description, but you can check out all the information you need at summitstrength.com.au/online. It's time to be strong and pain-free for your next adventure. All right, clothing trivia. Kane, you got to get 2 out of 3 correct to pass. And if you pass, I'll send you your favorite trail snack or freeze-dried food. You just got to get 2 out of 3. All right, and these are some
2 out of 3
stinking weird questions here. Are you ready for it?
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's clothing trivia. So we've never had clothing trivia on our show before, but here we go. Number 1, what are the terms that are socially acceptable for leggings for men? This is multiple choice. Is it A, compression pants, B, men's leggings, C, meggings, D, all the above, or E, none of the above?
None of the above. It's tights.
That's what my wife said. I ran this question by her, and I actually researched this because I'm like, I don't really know what you call these things. And it is actually all of the above. All the above are appropriate terms. But tights also work. That could have worked as well.
I think tights work.
But I was like especially impressed with meggings.
I don't know.
Anyway.
That sounds inappropriate.
I know it's weird. It's weird. I think various sites had this as you can research on your own if you're that interested. Number 2, the phrase cotton kills refers to people getting cotton wet and then dying of hypothermia. According to the 2020 U.S. Census, how many people died this way? A, 5, B, 15, C, 204, or D, 0?
I think it's D, 0.
D0 is correct, because I think that's like a big time myth. I don't think they would actually have that stat anyway, but like how many people in your family died of hypothermia?
All I know, like for 100 years, all military clothing was cotton.
Yeah. All right, so you're 1 for 2. You got to get something right. Number 3, there are people that go hiking dressed like rangers. They are officially known as fake rangers. Can you tell us 2 clothing attributes of a fake ranger?
Some kind of embroidered badge.
Yes, that's like the hardest one of all of them. That's correct.
And I'm gonna
so
say
you got that.
Yeah, that's guaranteed. It must be like a button-down shirt that's either khaki or brown.
Yes, well done. You got 2 of the hardest ones. They also typically wear like a wide brim hat and some sort of like olive pants, oversized boots. And do you have these in Canada? People that dress like this?
No, I mean that I've never seen anything like that. That's bizarre.
Pay attention, because I bet they exist. And even if they're not Canadians, even if they're Americans that are like invading your trails, I predict you'll find them. We see them. I don't know. I see them all the time. Like from a distance, you're like, oh, there's a ranger. From a distance, they really do look like one. And then when you get up close, you're like, oh, it's like they're wearing an ex officio shirt that has the little like embroidery like you're talking about. And so it looks like a name badge. So it's really funny.
Is it kind of like a reenactor? Like they just like the culture?
Yeah, they always want to be associated. They view the rangers as like these outdoor experts. Why not be a part of that, I guess?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, no, it's a term we coined on our show, and I think we've had a lot of support with a lot of people like discovering fake rangers, or I think we've had people take pictures of them and be like, look, I saw one on the trail. Anyway, that's kind of you passed trivia, so well done.
Never seen one, but I knew what it looked like.
Yes, apparently so. You got the 2 hard characteristics. Is there a favorite trail snack or freeze-dried food that I can send your way? What comes to mind?
I eat anything at all. Trail snack, any kind of freeze-dried.
Okay.
Anything freeze-dried, I'll eat it. A meal. If it's got meat in it, I eat it.
All right. I'll send you one of my favorite ones then, for sure. You probably have already had it, but all right. So, hey, Kane, really appreciate you coming on the show, co-hosting, sharing your clothing and apparently fabric knowledge. So, what can we look forward to on your YouTube channel? What do we got coming up here?
I've got another pretty interesting kind of trip. That's a collab thing. I'm going to keep it a little bit under the wraps. It should be a good one. I'm trying out a new mode of travel with a pack raft. It'll be an adventure. So that's going to be part of something that I'm going to be talking about, trying something really new to me, which is, that always changes things up. It's good to try new stuff and kind of challenge yourself a little bit. So that's going to be coming up. And then just more, adventures in the Canadian Rockies, trying out some new gear. So yeah, that'll all be coming up this year. Should be, I'm hoping to get, some good content out.
All right, man. Yeah, dude, you put out good content. That's why I reached out to you. You've got a really good camera presence. You got creative stuff, good information, and your reviews are spot on. And I really appreciate what you're doing for the outdoor world. So thanks for all you do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Our last thing I got is we're going to close out today. Our good buddy Rocky, if you have been listening, he was on a recent episode sharing that his wife just recently had a stroke. Before that happened, though, he recorded one of his songs that's on Apple Music and Spotify now. It is maybe the best song about football ever. It's called Take the Field. We got a snippet here. You get the full version on those audio apps. So thanks to Rocky for that, and we're still praying for him. Have a good week, everybody, and God bless you.
grinding through the summer, want to max out effort strength. Here we are at fall time, we've lifted and we run. Agilities and tackling our early morning fun. I'm the center of the line, I snap the ball and block. Block nose in the A-gap, I've got to be a rock. We've installed our run game for spread and double wing. Air raid passing game is in, now there's one more thing.